So again, we want to solve this by substitution. Now, our first step on that first page was solve one of our variables. So solve for either x or y. So get x equals or y equals. Do I even need to do that step on example A? No, because right here I have y equals x subtract 4. So if y equals x subtract 4, then what could I do? I want to take this and substitute it in where? 4x plus y equals 26, right? If y equals x subtract 4, then I can substitute that in for y in my other equation. It's just like in however many units ago, 5 units ago by now, when it said y equals 3, we easily at this point will just plug 3 in for y. It's the same thing. Y equals x subtract 4, we're substituting it. So 4x plus y, you know I love color coding, so if you have 2 different colored somethings, this may be helpful to color code like, oh, hey, there's y in blue, and this is in blue, and it's all equal to each other, so I can just put it there, right? 4x plus, do I need parentheses here? No. If it was like 2y or 3y or anything in front of here, or even subtract y, because you'd want to distribute that -1, that ninja one that's hiding there when it's -y. But if it's just plus y or plus x, then we're fine. Let's just write it in. X subtract 4 equals 26. Okay, what can I do to simplify this guy? Yeah, so these two guys, they're like terms. So 4x and x would give me 5x subtract 4 equals 26. And now I'm just solving for a variable, something we've done for months. So 5x subtract 4 equals 26. It's all about inverse operations. Where do I begin? Add 4, someone just told me. Add 4. 5x equals 30. Great. Don't run out of space here because we'll still have to determine what y is. See how I was kind of taking up too much space, so I'm letting you know to try to condense here. 5x equals 30. How do I get x? Divide by 5, divide by 5. X equals 6. So that's great. X equals 6. That's wonderful. But we're only halfway there. We also need to get what y equals. How could I do that? What do I know that y equals currently? Y equals x minus 4, right? That's my first equation. So if I know y equals x subtract 4, and I also know x equals 6, then, yeah, what did you say, Keegan? Y equals 6 minus 4. And what's 6 minus 4?
3.
No. 2. And we could write it as an ordered pair if we wanted to. I'm okay with just x equals 6, y equals 2. But 6, 2 written as an ordered pair. So I feel pretty good about that, but I may want to check my answer. How would I check my answer? Which equations would I use to check? My original one at the top, and it needs to check out in both. So if I substitute into equation 1, 6 for x and 2 for y, so I'm going to kind of scrunch this in here. If I plug in 2 for y and 6 for x, well, does 2 equals 6 subtract 4? Yeah, 2 equals 2 here. This works. For my second equation, if I plug in 6 for x, then 4x becomes 4 times 6 plus y is 2. Well, what's 4 times 6? 24. And 24 plus 2 is? Hey, weird. It checks out for both of them. Isn't it a beautiful thing? Now, we of course want to organize this onto one nice pretty piece of paper. So you have, and I'm going to leave this up here for a second afterwards, but you have this. Once you're done getting this example down, find this, because on the back, hey, look at that, solving systems by substitution. We want to make sure we fill out this organizer. So find that, finish writing this problem. Did you give me a pass when you came in? Or were you here and were you not here?
I don't know.
I don't actually need it. I just want to. Okay. So when you're ready, get this out. I want colors. I'm going to give you some colors. Really need 2 colors, so here's your bundles, but give 2 to Autumn. Here's just 2, because you know you have trouble sharing. Just kidding.
No, you're not.
No, that's fine, you can.
Wait, that one.
It's orange. If you 2 can split those 4, so I can pass 2 to Hannah.
Bring your own colors.
Your favorite 2 colors?
And I don't want to.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Let's do it.
You have
You could.
So me?
pens, colored pens.
I want everyone to see this stuff. It's like cool.
Then buy it and adjust.
It was pretty sure. Yeah. Judging me, yes. I buy candy. That's a good job.
You're gonna have to sharpen that other one. Okay. So, you have 2 colors. Okay, so this is your kind of step-by-step procedure, something you could refer to for your test. Solving systems of equations by substitution. Same steps essentially written on the top. Solve one equation for one variable. It says choose an easy one. So like it wouldn't make sense for me to solve for y on this first equation because like there's a coefficient there. It would cause me to end up to have a fraction, things like that. So you would want to choose a variable with no coefficient. Meaning it's just x or just y, okay? Nothing in front of it if it's not already solved for one of your variables. You would absolutely never choose to solve for y in this first one because it just wouldn't make sense. It would make your work more difficult. You would either choose to solve for x here or use this one that's already nicely set up for you, okay? Because there's no coefficient. It's just x or just y. So just x or y. So on this particular example, which equation would you go with? Like, yeah, y equals 2x minus 1 is already set up for us, right? So in one color, if you could just on step 1, write that equation. So when I use this equation, I'm going to use the color red, personally, and on the top equation, I'll write that in blue.
Is that your favorite color?
No?
No?
So step 2, substitute the equation from 1 into the, it says another equation. We're only going to be looking at systems that are 2 equations. So you can just write into the, you can even just cross out the beginning of that word, into the other equation, okay, into the other equation. So if I know y equals 2x minus 1, okay, I'm putting that around it. That's what I'm going to then take and substitute in. So here's step 2. Here's my other equation written in blue. If I know y equals 2x subtract 1, I will then substitute it in here where I see y. So watch how I'm going to use my colors here. X equals 2 times, now in parentheses, 2x subtract 1 equals 8. Okay, see how I use the red to identify that I'm taking that part from my first equation and putting it into the other. Are you looking for an extra copy of this?
Yeah.
There's one. Let's see.
I'll just make it up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'll make you.
Okay. So here we are. Now we need to simplify here. So that's really step 3. So we'll just kind of continue our work all the way down. So step 3, let's simplify. What would I need to do first here? I have that 2 in front of those parentheses. What do I do? What's that called? Yeah, multiplying, but what's that called? Distributive property. I'm going to distribute that 2. So I'm going to kind of skip, so I'm down on 3. I'm solving for my variable here. So x plus, if I distribute that, that gives me 4x and 2 times negative 1, negative 2. Okay, so let's continue simplifying. What can I do? Add like terms. X, 4x gives me 5x. Now let's solve for x. Add 2. 5x equals, then what? X equals 2. Oops, I sure can. Sorry, my 2 went into the dotted lines there. Okay. So x equals 2. Step 4 says use the new value from right here to find the other variable's value. So here's my equation that was already set up. Solve for y. Y equals 2x minus 1. That's from right here. Well, here's x. And I know that x equals 2. So I'm going to substitute again. Y equals 2. And where I see x, I can substitute that value I just found. And so y equals 2 times 2 is, and 4 subtract 1 is 3. Give you a chance to catch up. Step 5, write as an ordered pair. How would I write that as an ordered pair? Which value comes first? 2. So it's x, y. 2, 3. And I'm going to add to step 5 here. Write as an ordered pair, and then we're going to check it here on the bottom in a second. Check. So write your check. Just rewrite both of your equations. Y equals 2x subtract 1, and x plus 2y equals 8. Close to time here. So let's substitute in 3 for y and 2 for x. 2 times 2 is
4.
4 minus 1 going to give me 3?
I think so.
Let's do our other equation. X is 2. Y is 3. What's 2 times 3? 6. Is 2 plus 6 8? Yeah, beautiful. It checks out. Okay? You may pack up once everything is down. Okay? Your notes are your resources. Do not short out on your resources. That would be silly, ridiculous, and then I would yell at you.